So day one of GITEX Global, we're down here on the floor catching up with some of the exhibitors, the delegates, the speakers and more. An absolute pleasure to come down here into Hall 6 and find myself to the Filecloud team. Why? Because I wanted to catch up with the Chief Revenue Officer, Peter Melerud, who joins us now here live. I say he joins us, we join him on his stand.
Well,
so thank you very much indeed for the invite. It's very kind of you. Welcome to Dubai. Thanks very much indeed for being part of GITEX Global. And I suppose, what better place to start than GITEX Global? You know, we here in the region have dealt with regional GITEXs for a long time. The last couple of years, they've taken on the mantra of being global. From somebody who's, well, this ain't your first rodeo when it comes to tech and innovation conferences, how big a deal is an event like this?
I think it's huge, particularly because we've had a bit of a hiatus of shows and with lockdowns and really haven't been too many opportunities to meet with potential customers and prospects, and this show is really been put on incredibly well. There's a lot of folks that are joining this from all areas, but particularly the region that we serve. So it's really incredible to see.
It is huge. I can quantify that. Ain't my first GITEX, that's for sure. Now listen, let's find out more about Filecloud. For those of our viewers and listeners out there who might not have heard of Filecloud, who might want to be getting to know you a bit better, what solution do you provide them that the competition doesn't?
So Filecloud, first and foremost, is a software manufacturer. And the kind of software that we build allows companies to essentially operate their own file sharing private cloud deployment. Most of file sharing content collaboration solutions are almost by definition public cloud based. And while that is fairly simple and easy to deploy and engage, it also introduces a number of challenges, like data residency challenges, data sovereignty challenges, controls over who can actually see what files and what content. So for your personal family photos, it's okay to put stuff onto Dropbox or Box or OneDrive, but for business documents, for public sectors that often deal with very sensitive content, and particularly with new regulations that are coming online, that's just not an option. So the market has been asking for technology that allows customers to have very, very precise control over where their files and content is actually located. And we've answered the call. We've developed the software back in 2016, and we've been growing ever since. And we now have 3,000 customers globally. What I can say is that this is the market that we actually serve from day one. So we have a number of customers here in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, and in the greater region.
I mean, you take a very global, international perspective on the business itself. Here we are in the heart of the MENA region as well. Numbers suggest that things are growing here. There seems to be a buoyancy and optimism. Is that what you're seeing from a business point of view? And just how important is this region to you and the brand?
Oh, it's incredibly important because a lot of the, first of all, compliance and regulatory requirements are very much centered in this region. So the need for that data control, the control of where your files and content are actually stored, arguably is one of the most important regions for that domain. So whether it's for private industry, whether it's for educational, whether it's for public sector, it is incredibly important, particularly within region, to now have complete control over where your content is actually stored, and more importantly, who can see it, who can you share it with, what happens to it after it's been shared. That is all something that we deliver so that this path to compliance can be measured in days, not months or years.
You bring up a very valid point. That's not one I'd sort of thought about before. You know, times were when you archived content or you shredded content, etc. Data, I'm assuming, throws up a whole new problem for companies at the moment. If you think you've got rid of content, or you think content is safe, is it really that safe at the moment? How big a problem is it to sort of control one's data at the moment? Is it becoming more challenging by the day?
it's gotten incredibly more challenging, particularly with the advent of the ubiquity of the public cloud.
Yeah.
Right. So as it's becoming more and more easier, if you will, to start just throwing data out into those easy to deploy, easy to support cloud-based storage environments, with that comes fairly quick loss of control about who's putting what data where, who can get to see it, and the issue now is that customers are trying to bring that back under control. So that's the biggest challenge that we're trying to solve.
Another challenge, I'm assuming, but correct me if I'm wrong on this one, is ease of access. A lot of companies, want to make sure that they're ring-fenced in terms of compliance, in terms of security, etc. But equally, they don't want to jump through hoops in order to access that data as well. Is that a balance that you have to keep at the moment, the security levels, but also the efficiency levels?
Yeah. So with that, let's unpack that a little bit, right? So the security aspect is the foundation of what we've built on. When you're delivering file and content sharing outside of the public cloud sphere, you now own the security aspect of it. So we created a pretty wide range of integrations with network file security systems, with authentication, with multi-factors. So a lot of the inherent security frameworks that are already in place, we plug into and integrate into. So when file sharing is then deployed, it becomes very seamless to actually have to provide that security layer. Part of that was the way we designed the software. So out of the box, when you deploy it, it looks like most commonly used file sharing, whether it's a Box or a Dropbox or OneDrive or Google, most common sharing environments where you see the files, you can right-click, share, deploy it to a number of users, except that you now have complete control over exactly where that file is. It can be on your service, it can be in your storage. We work with partners who are hosting a lot of the services using our software so that they can provide an extended, effectively a full stack of the solutions, guaranteeing the customer that they know exactly where the data is. So that security, which is access element, combined with ease of use, literally out of the box, it acts like a file sharing platform that everyone is familiar with. So that was very, very important design factor for us.
Such fast-paced moving industry. In terms of what you bring to market at an event like this, what's new for 22 when it comes to all the team at Filecloud?
So there's a number of new capabilities that we brought with our latest version of the software that includes a DRM componentry, ability to really control not just who gets the file, but what they can do with it. Can they print it? Can they see it? What devices they can see it on? Even what part of the screen is displayed when they actually show the file. So a lot of that really, really tight control over what happens to the content after it leaves the organization, and having degree control is what's relatively new in our product. Data leak protection is a big deal. So this is almost inherent in our product family, where making sure that only those pieces of content and files that should be shared and can be shared are actually being released, right? We have a very sophisticated metadata layer that we've built. It allows us to deploy a manual metadata encoding model, but also we have some machine learning built in, so we can read content that's stored on your systems and your files and create a pretty accurate picture of what that metadata for that file should look like, and then we can create automatic security layers to see if those files are trying to be exfiltrated, that we can block them or at least flag them to the administrators to make sure that they can take action.
So much to talk about. I suppose the message from you and the rest of the team is, if people are interested, if they think that you can be a solution provider for them, come and see you down at GITEX. You are in the noisy corner of GITEX, that's for sure.
Certainly exciting corner.
The excitable corner over here. So you're down here, Hall 6, A11 at GITEX. Whole team's down here, are they?
The whole team's down here.
Well, listen, come on down. It's great hospitality down here nonetheless. Thank you so much indeed for, and listen, if people can't make it as well, best way for them to get in touch with Filecloud?
Absolutely, filecloud.com. Also keep in mind, we do have a team here locally in Dubai. So we are able to engage with customers in the region with both sales and tech support and engineering support as well. So looking forward to seeing everyone.
Amazing. Come on down. You will be treated to a very warm welcome. That's for sure. Big thank you to you, Peter. Thanks very much indeed for your time.
Appreciate it.
Big thanks. Peter Melerud.
Dubai Eye 103.8.
Join the conversation.